Don't worry about it. I get that all the time. I don't know. It's just anytime someone comes up to me, I was like, "You're that guy that beat." I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like to me, it's just it was just a match. To me, it was just a match. It wasn't anything special, but I understand what happens, and so we'll talk a little bit about not that specifically, but what I'm here to for you today. My panel is called "What's Stopping You." Let me kind of elaborate on that a little bit. What's stopping you from entering the community, the FGC? I have been training students for the last 6 years in cross counter, dating back from AE 2012, Street Fighter 4, not till about right now, like maybe an hour before I got on my flight, I was still training people, Street Fighter 5. And what inspired me to do this, I have a student who I've been training for 2 years. He is pretty good. He just got back with me after maybe about 6 months being away. And he told me, like I'm able to go to NLBC every day. Like I can go to NLBC every week. I don't enter the tournaments though. And that really shocked me. I was like, well, what are we training for? Like, what do I mean, I didn't tell him that, but I was telling him, like, you're crazy. Being an NLBC, like that's one of the most popular places to go and practice. Even if you get bodied, you want to be able to learn and to grow. And so basically that kind of made me ask him, like, what's stopping you? And his response was I don't want to get bodied. I don't want to get on stream and get bodied. And confidence is a big thing in what you do. I'm going to talk a lot about my personal experiences coming into the FGC. Pretty much a historian of what I've gone through, just to document what it was hard about entering the scene and becoming a known player, a good player through the valley. I mean, I lived in Brownsville, Texas.
As a ball-winning player.
Right. We'll get into that. But so Brownsville, Texas is a small city. Pretty much the border of Mexico. Nobody ever knows. Every time I say Brownsville, they're like, what? I always say South Padre Island. They're like, oh, okay, the beach. And I'm like, yeah, around there. We have a strong community there. They took me under their wing back in the 2004 when I started in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Me and my brother, Vash, he's in the back. He's the one, we've been going to tournaments since then. I was 16 years old. Driving around with friends. They didn't even have a lift. I didn't even have my wheelchair. Traveling is a very hard thing, not just for me, but just one of the big barriers in entering the FGC is being able to go to your local or going to a major. You got to think about so many things: flights, car problems, delays. What's your luggage going to be at? TSA going to bang my sticks? All those kind of things. It's a real life problem for people. What we have to go through is almost 10 times that amount. I have to worry about if my chair's gonna make it. I've had my chair broken 3 times by the plane. I have to worry about even getting there because I had no car, so I have to worry about the bus getting on time. Did I book it right? Did I say the right time? Sometimes in my mind, I'm like, do I have to drive my chair all the way to the airport, a 6 or 7 mile place just to get to the tournament, so I won't miss my flight? I've had to sleep inside airports at times because they took forever taking my chair out, and we missed our connecting flight, so we had to stay there the whole night. There's so many times and so many things that can go wrong, and it's stressful. It's really one of those things that it's been a big eye-opener these last few months and years, being able to fly. I haven't ever flown the first 26 years of my life. I didn't think I could. My parents always told me, you can't sit down. What I have is arthrogryposis. For those of you who don't know, it's a disability that I've had since I was born. It's a muscle growth deficiency. So my muscles didn't grow as normal as everyone else's. That's why it affected my limbs. Can't walk, can't really grab things. I'm barely holding this mic with my wrist, but I could do it because I played Rock Band a lot, so I'm actually pretty good at this. it's one of those things where I've had this kind of barrier on my life, and it's always been one of those things that reminds me of, if I can make it through this day, if I can make it to this tournament, then that's already winning it itself. That's already just getting there. Because the one thing I really would like to stress to people is, sure, you can be in the community. You could go online, you can buy your game, you can play the game you love, pick a character, get on Discord for that character and learn the character if you want. And hey, that's technically being in the FGC. But in my heart, and what I believe in, is being in the FGC is actually going there and seeing the passion from all you guys. You know, you all are here sharing a passion, sharing that goal of wanting to play and be and compete. And whether you think you're gonna win or whether you think you're just there for the experience, maybe you're here to learn. It's a humbling experience. That's what I've heard all day. You know, I didn't make it out of pools, I was really close, but it's a humbling experience. I got to learn. And that's the perfect mindset coming to these tournaments. And that's what I've always thought about and always did when I was growing up, when I was going to tournaments back in 2004. Super Smash Bros. Melee. And I know, a lot of people don't think maybe that's not a fighting game, but, well, it is what it is. And it was my first fighting game. I did start playing it at a very young age. That was a barrier in itself, was actually, how would I even play this game? How would I even hold the controller? Funny story is, when I was 2 years old, my parents bought me an NES, not knowing if I could play at all. They just kind of wanted to see what I could do. I was able to roll on the floor. I wasn't paralyzed. I could move around. So they were kind of interested to see. And my dad would, play night in and night out games next to me. And one day he left the remote on the floor. And my mom was in the other room. I can hear someone Mario jumping, because I was playing Donkey Kong, or, the first Mario game. And so she heard, Mario jumping, and she called out Michael, which is my dad's name, and I'm the third. And so she thought he was in the room, and she saw me playing. And she was so surprised and so shocked to see that I was able to actually press a button with my face, with my chin. I was just pressing it like this. And I was holding the controller with my wrist. And because I didn't want the remote to move around. And so that's how it kind of started. Was I good? No. I was 2 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. But I started growing. I started becoming better and better with every game. Every time I beat a game, they brought me a new one. Sometimes they were really boring, like ABC, whatever games, or Math Blaster. Actually, I like Math Blaster, I'm not gonna lie. But, it was something that I could do. And I think that's the main motivation, that I have growing up and still in it today. I'm 31 years old today, and I'm still playing fighting games, and I'm still competing and traveling and going to these tournaments because I feel like it's something that I can do, right? Everybody has their things they can do. Someone can play football, someone can do swimming, volleyball, golf. I can't do any of that. I'm so into sports. I watch sports all the time. I'm always leaving the TV on with ESPN. I'm always just watching things. I'm always into it, but I know I can't do it. Growing up in middle school, I always wanted to join the football team, right? And they were like, "You're crazy. You're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get your chair knocked down, and then what's gonna happen." And I'm just like, "Nah, I'm okay. I'll run over some kids." And they were like, "Well, you're gonna run over some kids. You're gonna break some legs or something." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's true." So, it was one of those things where, obviously I knew, yeah, I can't do this stuff, right? I'm not going to get on the field and play people. But it was a passion of mine. They let me, create plays. They let me be on the sideline sometimes. I actually got to attend one game, so it was really cool. But it was something that I couldn't do. I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't play football. My favorite sport I couldn't do. So I had to find something that I liked doing, and here comes Super Smash Bros. Melee. Me and my brother played for months, and we grinded and we played, and I was like, competing against each other. It was me against him. There wasn't online back then. There was no online features. There was no way to connect to your friends from Australia or the next state or whatever. You had to play in house, and that was it. There was no other way. that was probably really difficult at the time. But I was, blessed to have a brother that could play just as well as I could. He actually beat my ass all the time. I mean, he was just really, you know, competitive. We were really competitive. So we went to our first tournament, 2004, first ever tournament. We heard about it in Houston because my mom was living there, and there was a doubles tournament going on. There was only 4 people, so it was just us against them in the finals, and it was so hilarious because we got our ass beat so hard because they knew how to wave dash, they knew to do everything, and we didn't know anything. I was like, "What is this? I don't know any of this stuff." And so it was so crazy. So we got blown away to the point where he wanted to quit. And I was like, no, I want to keep playing. I want to get better, Like, I know we can figure this out and beat them, So next year that happened, we left and we came back the following year and we beat them. We leveled up and we got to be good players and actually thought about saying, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we travel? And so we started going to forums. We started going to, it's called Smashboards, and that's how it started. Back in the day, yeah. I mean, there was no streaming, there was no YouTube, so we had to converse and message each other on Smashboards and look up turning locator and, oh, this tournament's happening on this time at this address. And traveling was so hard because we didn't have GPS back then. So everything was mail, or maps, I mean. And this one time, I literally thought I had the right address. And so we went and we were following the map and we ended up at some guy's house. And we were like, is this where the major's happening at? And they're like, no, this is so-and-so's house. Who is this? And we're like, oh, I'm sorry. So we ended up, going back on the road. And it was like 20 minutes from there, so it wasn't that bad. But it was so weird because it's just like, so many things can go wrong. Traveling is really hard. And it's a scary thing. Just to be able to leave your house to go to another state, another city, another area where you're not comfortable, meeting new people that you've never met, that you probably talked to online, that you met on Discord. Hey, I'm, Shy Guy 47, man. What's your name? It's like, oh yeah, I'm, BrolyLegs, right? Like, it's just, you're not used to doing things like that. To meet someone for the first time and say, hey, my name is Mike. Hey, my name is David. Those are things that don't really happen so much when you're online. So you kind of lose that comfortability. You kind of expose yourself a little bit by going out to these events. But the reason why you do it is because you share that passion. Because you're like, hey, I'm that Merkaba player, or hey, I play Android 16 and Kid Goku or whatever. Or hey, I play Akuma, and then I never talk to you again because you play Akuma and I don't want to talk to you. But, things like that where you want to make sure that you have that ability to want to travel. It isn't easy for everybody. It's not easy for me, for sure. But it's one of those things that can stop you. It can be that answer. What's stopping you? Traveling. Traveling can stop you from going to these events and experiencing these great majors. This is the first time I ever went to E3 this year. This is the first time I ever went to CEO. I've never been to those tournaments. And now I was able to because of flying, because of how we were able to make it happen. But it's still scary. I still could come back and have a broken chair. The chair that I had for 10 years broke going last Evo. Last Evo was my last time I had my last chair. And so I didn't have a chair for about 6 months. So about 6 months, yeah. And you try not having your legs for about 6 months, right? I couldn't go anywhere. Couldn't do anything. So they finally fixed it. Well, they didn't fix it. They replaced it with this one. And this one was $50,000. So, it's pretty expensive. It's really one of those things where it's scary to go. It's not like, oh yeah, hey, let's go to this major. Yeah, let's go. Who cares, right? I got these flyer miles. A lot of things could go wrong. And it's natural to be worried and stressed out just to go. Another thing that can stop people from entering the community is us ourselves. I've got to experience a lot of people here in the FGC. I got to meet a lot of people that have big impacts, positive impacts in my life, right? One of them is walking to your right, coming this way, Gutex. Another one's hiding somewhere, Mike Ross. They were the ones that first introduced me to the world as BrolyLegs. You know, they were the ones that interviewed me. And I was just kind of, you know, back then I was like this real big, you know, I was a shit talker. I was like, yeah, these guys are nothing. I can body them or whatever. And then Mike Ross bodied me. So I was like, all right, you know, you're all right. And so, but they interviewed me, you know, they gave me a shot. They wanted to know my story. And, you know, I still see that video on YouTube all the time. It's the most viewed video on their channel. And, you know, it was such, I didn't think it was gonna blow up. I mean, I knew it was crazy because, you know, again, back then, we were on forums. Nobody knew who I was. Back then when I played Smash Brothers, you know, there was always messages like, hey, have you seen that guy that plays with his face? I think like he uses his tongue or he eats his controller and plays Marth in this. And so people didn't know. They were like, what, who's this guy? And so back then, I didn't have my wheelchair to go with. Back then, I had to go to tournaments getting carried by people. I one time went on a 6-hour drive in the trunk of a car with an ice chest on my back because I wanted to go to a tournament, you know? That's how much sacrifice I was willing to go. I was willing to do just to go to a tournament, right? Because of these friends, these people that I made connections with. I wanted to just go and see them again, right? I have this crazy funny story. Don't tell the law enforcement. But anyways, we were in the car driving to Houston. From Brownsville, it's about a 6-hour trip. And our plan was this. We didn't have a lot of money. Our parents gave us $60, says good luck. And so we didn't have a hotel. We didn't have anywhere to go. We just wanted to go to the tournament and come back. That was it. And so back then it was one-day tournaments. It wasn't like anything huge. There wasn't anything crazy. So we would go to the tournament. We would drive about 2 in the morning, right? And we would get to the parking lot around 8 or 9 and sleep in the car till the tournament opened up, probably like an hour or two after. Signed up, did the tournament, ended around maybe 11, 12, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and then drive back. That's how it worked. We didn't stay at anyone's houses, unless it was a 2-day event. If we stayed at a 2-day event, we probably ended up at some guy's house. There was this one time where this kid that was invited us to his house, this guy had a huge house, like crazy. I was like, whoa. So they carried me upstairs, and this guy had like, it literally looked like a mansion almost. And so it was like 7 of us kids in the foyer of his, you know, the living room upstairs. And then we wake up and his parents walk in. They're like, who the hell are these kids doing here? And they're like, oh, we're just here for the tournament. You know, we're leaving. We didn't even know this kid. Like, this guy was just offering. He's like, hey, you know, you guys can stay at my place. And we were just like, okay, you know, like, why not? So it was, yeah, you know, being in the community for Smash was pretty crazy. You know, I love them to death. You know, I know they get all the slack and the smell and this and that. But, you know, it's always fun. Like, they've always been a fun community. But anyway, so going back to the story. So we were driving at 2 in the morning, and my friend was like, for some reason, just like, you know, he was going fast. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's all like, oh, I'm trying to get us to the tournament early. I'm like, dude, like, who cares? Like, we're going to get there anyways, right? And all of a sudden, oh, here comes a cop pulling us over. And so we were just like, uh-oh, what do we do? And so I was like, all right, just sit me up on the chair, and we're just going to tell this guy that you're rushing me to the hospital. Trust me. And so we were like, okay, fine. We're going to try this, all right? So the guy pulls us over, and he's asking us, like, hey, guys, like, why are you guys going so fast? And so the driver's, like, panically says, like, oh, you know, my friend's back there. It doesn't feel so good, and we're trying to get him to the hospital, and blah, blah. And the cop kind of, like, gives him a look, and then he goes back there, right? And, you know, I'm sitting here, you know, I'm disabled. I look kind of weird like at 3 in the morning, right? So the cop, you know, shines his flashlight at me, and he, you know, rolls down the window. He looks at me like my entire body. He's like, what happened to you? And I was like, oh, I just don't feel good, sir. And he's like, well, we got 2 hospitals going. We got one over here. We got one over there. Which one are you trying to go to? We're just like, the nearest one, I guess. So he's like, all right, follow me. Don't worry about it. So then we went to the hospital, right? And so like the cop was literally waiting there. We were like, what do we do? How do we get rid of this guy? And so like my brother and the guy goes into the hospital, and I was like, just try to get a gurney or something, whatever, right? And so we'll tell you if the cop leaves. And so sure enough, like 3 or 4 minutes pass by, he gets a call on his radio, and he's like, "Hey guys, I have to go really fast. Are you guys gonna be okay?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'll be okay." So then he goes, he leaves, and we're telling the guys, "Get back in the car." We haul ass and get to the tournament. And I felt so bad using myself as a way to get out of a ticket, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and it worked out pretty well. But that just shows, what the community is about. Positive, right? Friends that you can be with, people that are willing to take me to tournaments, that are willing to carry me up flight of stairs, through lawns, all this kind of stuff. These are things that no people would ever want to do unless they want to see you go to a tournament. And on the other side of that, there are negatives. There are people that troll, and there are people that hate and do things just to get a reaction. And that can stop you from coming into the community. You can have people that say, "Oh, you suck. What are you even doing? Why are you playing that game? Have you seen the views on the stream of that game? They're so much lower than so other game." And all those things can be so hurtful and so unnecessary. Everybody loves whatever game they play. I've literally bought pretty much every fighting game for the last 3 years. I played MK11, I played Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, and so on. And yeah, there's some games that I don't really like, or yeah, there's some games that I just can't really get into. But at the end of the day, why does it matter if one game is doing better than the other? At the end of the day, we're a community. We all share the passion of the same games, whatever it is. Anime, Smash, Tekken, Street Fighter, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, doesn't matter. We're all playing the same kind of stuff. We all love fighting games because of what it gives us, what it allows us to do, what we learn from it, and who we can share these, information with, right? So many of you I've never met in my life if it wasn't for fighting games, right? And so it's a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to have these passions and have this ability to go to these tournaments and meet these people. Yeah, some of us are weird. Who cares? Some of us, are cover of ESPN, but who cares, right? We're all here just to play games and to have fun. And some of us take it competitively, and some of us casually, and that's okay too. It doesn't mean to be in the FGC doesn't mean you have to be competitive. But I will say that a big time experience for me is actually entering a tournament. You're gonna go into, who cares? You're doing it to learn. You're doing it to see how well you've progressed. Whether it's, you've learned basic combo A, or you can do all these advanced combos that nobody's ever seen of. That's the passion, to hit those combos, to land those setups, to make those reads. That's why we play. And whether you want to enter, for the fun of it, or you're really entering to win, that's on you. My biggest motivation, believe it or not, my biggest motivation is to win. I still want to win, despite my disability, despite what I can't do, despite having 4 buttons in a 6-button game, despite me playing a low-tier character, despite all of that, I still want to win. My motivation is to win. It's not about anything else. I could care less about winning money or being famous or any of that. My goal is competitive. I'm competitive at heart. You could ask anybody that has congratulated me in the last few weeks about Street Fighter League. Who's here watched Street Fighter League Season 1? All right, a couple hands. All right, couple hands. All right, watch Season 2 because it's going to be great. But, we won, right? Team Inferno, right? Punk, JB, BrolyLegs, we all won $10,000 each. And they're like, yeah, that's so great, right? $10,000 each, right? You feel so good, right, Bob Broly? No, because I didn't do anything. I didn't win. I won 1 game the whole season, right? And my friends, JB, Punk, they always tell me, dude, you did your best. That's all we can ask for. But it's not the best in me. I don't like losing to people. I don't like being given that. I don't like being carried. And, how much a therapist or a masseuse is for these guys' backs, for 10 weeks? It's a lot, obviously I didn't buy that, but still, it's hard to be in that position where you're given an opportunity to win, to play competitively and lose. It's not the easiest thing to do. And that stems from another thing that can stop you in the community, is your own confidence, is your own belief. being in the community, to go to a tournament, you can travel, you can have the money to go, you could, have the positive impact on this in the community all you want. But at the end of the day, do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you can even try to play against people? Are you scared to play people? That's where that came from when I trained that student of mine. He was scared. He doubted himself. He didn't want to be on stream and look like a fool. And that just comes from his own doubt, his own fear. There's no reason. I've gotten my ass kicked so many times on stream, in locals. I didn't even get top 8 in my locals when I learned Street Fighter 4. I would get dogged all the time by my friend, and I accepted it. One of the best players in the valley, his name's Fro, but I won't admit it to him, but whatever. He's taught me the game pretty much. He taught me how to play the game. Whether the execution, my execution's not all the way there. My execution sucks, but I know I have good spacing and I know I have good fundamentals, and my mind's I can make good reads. That's what I was really good at, and that's what carried me for a long time. But back then, I didn't have any of those things. I just went, played, paid money, got my ass kicked, and then went home. And I did it week in and week out, week in and week out. I did it because I wanted to be getting better. I wanted to get better. I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to prove to them that I can do it. I wanted to, I had that motivation. I had those goals. I told myself I wasn't going to always lose to you. I wasn't always going to just be, that guy that went 0-2. Yeah, sure, it's great to be the guy. Oh, you play with your face, great. Oh, you can overcome diversity, great. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to win. I'm here to compete. I'm here to be one of the best players. And so every loss, sure, you shouldn't take it so hard. I take it very hard. And I know I shouldn't take it that hard. It's, Evo's, I made it out of pools and losers today, And I'm still mad about losing, in winners to this Colleen from Japan. He was really good. But at the same time, I felt like I could have won. So am I mad about it? Yeah, I'm mad about it. Because I thought I could have done it. And so obviously it's not going to deter me. Obviously I'm going to keep going and try my best to go through Evo and try to continue on. But at the same time, that is my goal. That doesn't mean that it's everybody's goal. You can be there just to experience. Someone else could be there just to learn. Someone else could just be there just to, see what Street Fighter is about, or any game what it's about. It doesn't matter what game it is. Maybe they just want to, progress from last year. My first Evo, I went 2-2. I lost to a T-Hawk and a Balrog. I still remember. And that was 8 years ago. How do I remember that? Because losses stay with you. Stay with me at least. Because I learn from them and I want to learn from those losses. But it doesn't start unless you believe in yourself to get there, to get on stream. Stream is, be on stream is crazy. You got to deal with a lot of, stream monsters, a lot of trolls, and I think the hardest thing about all this is that we do it to ourselves. We don't have to be that kind of community that brings down people. Women have it so hard. I have it hard. I used to read my comments and be like, oh, that's the guy that I wonder if his tongue game is good, things like that. And it's funny to me, but when I have my mom reading it, she's just like so upset, and I'm just like, Ma, it's just what it is. People want to put a comment for a reaction. Who cares, right? And so, but I have that tough shield. I have that tough skin because of the community I was with. Because my friend would always talk shit to me and beat me. But not everyone's like that. Some people are sensitive, and that's understandable. But that doesn't mean that we should attack them for it. That doesn't mean that we should bring them down. Everyone deserves to play the game. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or, whatever nationality you are, or if you're disabled. You can put the controller in your hand or your face or whatever and play, then you deserve to play. And that's it. That's all that matters. And so being on stream does have that weighted, that weight on your shoulder, to get on there. It is scary. It is hard to meet someone and, oh my God, there's Justin Wong, or oh my God, there's Punk, and you're barely entering your first tournament, That's a lot of nerves. It's a lot of stress, But no one's expecting you to win. No one's expecting you to to beat these guys. You're there to learn. You're there to compete because you love the game, not because you're forced to it, not because you're being peer pressured into it. You do it because you love it. That's why I do it. At the end of the day, I maybe will never win a major, but I'm never gonna regret this because I got to meet so many wonderful people. I got to go to so many wonderful places. If I didn't try, if I didn't believe in myself, guess where I would be? In my room, in my house, doing nothing. Because, hey, I'm disabled and that's what's expected of me, right? I could easily say that. I could easily tell people, hey, I can't grab the controller. I can't do this combo with my face. I'm not gonna try because I don't believe in myself. But no, you don't have to go that road. You don't have to tell yourself no. You can tell yourself, I can try, right? And I can learn. And if you can't learn on your own, then you can ask somebody. It's easy to pick up a game and play and find someone on a Discord or find a group and say, hey, I want to learn. Most people will help you. Most definitely people will help you. Even the crazy thing about it for me is that I've trained people. Like if you think about what I do, you would think, oh, Broly trains probably charged characters, probably Chun, right? Last week I just trained someone with Ed. I've never played Ed in my life, but I know how to play the game and I know how the fundamentals go, right? And so today I got to meet him in his first Evo and he actually won his first match, right? And so that doesn't happen without guidance. That doesn't happen without learning. Some people don't have that ability. I lived in Brownsville, Texas. Yeah, we had a good community, but for Street Fighter 5, no, because not everybody moved on to Tekken, or a lot of the people from Street Fighter 4 stopped playing. So I didn't have a community, and so it was hard for me or other people in that city to learn. So I understood what it took. People had to play online, but even then, like if you're doing something bad and no one tells you anything, how are you gonna learn? If I see someone doing a bad habit, I tell them, hey, don't do that. Stop doing that. Like even last night, I saw this Sagat player that was doing the wrong combo, and I just corrected him and said, hey, do this, this, and to this, right? Stab middle punch, crouch middle punch, DP, and you're good. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll try it. And then he started doing it, and he started winning matches. That's all it takes. It's just learning. It's to reach out and ask for help. People are there willing to help out others. But it also comes from, do you have the ability to not doubt yourself? And so it was hard for me. At any moment in my career, I guess career, right? At any moment I could have told myself no. So I could have told myself, you know what, I can't do this, right? When the first time I ever played a fighting game, who wants to know what was my first fighting game? Someone think. 2009, 2008, right before Street Fighter 4. So it's not Street Fighter 4. Go for it. No, well, not that one. No, maybe like a traditional fighting game. Yeah. Anybody else? Anyone else want to take a chance? Yes? Not Tekken, though I did play Tekken 4, but it was for the story. Yeah, go ahead. No, my first fighting game, or traditional fighting game, was Guilty Gear X in Court. And so I played Biken with my friend Alex. And so my friend Alex would come to my house every chance he got. I met him in college in Melee. And so, he was like playing those, playing like HNK. I played HNK as well a little bit. But he played a Guilty Gear, and I was like, yo, I'm interested in playing Guilty Gear. Me and my friend were playing Guilty Gear. So we're just like, yeah, I want to play. Like, I want to learn a fighting game. Like, I want to learn traditional. And he's like, well, you got buns and direction, and you got to do Hadoukens and Shoryuken moves. And, man, the combos on that is so hard. I have to do all these loops. I was trying to do the Tatami Man loop in AC. Man, it's so hard. So I tried doing it. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks, and finally got it to hit. And, I had so much fun learning. I got my ass kicked all the time. I sucked, but it's like I was able to learn this combo, and I was like, hey, I can do it, right? Anybody else would have saw that and been like, no, that thing's too hard, So like I tried, and I gave it a shot, and it worked out. And that's the same thing that happened in Street Fighter 4. I went through a bunch of characters before I landed Chun-Li. I wanted to play Viper, actually. But I was like, there's no way I could do burn kicks like this. There's no way. So then I went to Balrog, it didn't work. Then I went to Seth, kind of worked, but then no. And then I went to Chun-Li, and Chun-Li actually worked and fit, because charge character. My friend came over one day and told me, why don't you play a charge character? I was like, okay, it's not that hard. But the thing he told me, and it still echoes in my mind, he's like, stop jumping. Because that was the biggest habit I had when I was back then. I kept jumping, and he would anti-air me into super, and I get so pissed. So I wanted to stop playing. He's like, just stop jumping. And I was like, okay. I still jump nowadays. But still, and I still get reminded in my mind what to do. But at the end of the day, I love those experiences. I love being part of this community because of what I'm able to learn, all the experiences, all the bonds that I was able to share with everyone, all the experiences that I've had. I couldn't trade them for anything. And it all starts with you telling yourself you can, not doubting yourself, not being able to tell yourself no. Because you never know where you can be. You never know where it can take you. Now, this year I went to E3 for the first time in my life. Why? Because of Street Fighter League, because of Street Fighter. This is the time, the first time I ever went to Evo Vegas, in my life was because of Street Fighter, because of fighting games, right? And you never know where you can end up being as Street Fighter in any game. It could be Tekken, could be Smash, could be BlazBlue, could be Eunice, could be anything. Except maybe Cross Tekken, but we'll not talk about Cross Tekken. But yeah, I love that game. I still want to play it. But anyways, you never know where you're gonna end up. You never know where you're gonna be with gaming and with the community itself. And so the next time you hop on a stream, next time you see somebody playing for the first time, even if it's 3 views, 4 views, even if he's learning for the first time, appreciate that the guy's trying, or the girl's trying, or the person's trying, or hey, that guy's playing with his toes or his nose. That guy's trying too. We're all trying. So give them that shot, give them that benefit, and welcome them to the community. Because at the end of the day, the one that's stopping you is you. And don't let yourself stop yourself from enjoying these experiences. Because it could have happened to me. Guy that was born disabled, that didn't have hands, couldn't do these things. I still can't hit a DP worth of life or whatever, but I still tried. And now I'm here today and going, doing my best at Evo, just like everyone else is here. So you guys do your best and don't let anything stop you from enjoying what you love. And that's all I got today. Thank you guys. Yeah, you guys can ask questions. Anything can be personal.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Etienne.
Etienne. All right.
Actually, I have a question. I saw the Xbox adaptive controller, and I thought of people like you in your situation. Have you tried it? Was that fitting for your disability?
I actually have 3 of those, 3 copies of those. I need to return one of them back. I tried it, and it's a great controller, but it wasn't for me. Not for me, really. Like, I tried it. It's just like, I put it on my face, and it's hard for me to change. I will tell you that, and I keep telling myself that I'm going to try to message the guy, but there was a guy that was trying to make a controller with 6 buttons on the front, the same style, because I use an Xbox 360 controller, if people didn't know. So all I need is just another few face buttons, and I'm good. But yeah, the adaptive controller is great, but I never got to. It's not for me. That's all good. But thank you. Anyone? Hello.
I'm TJ, gamertag automaton. And,
What's up, man?
My question is about well, I'm kind of in a weird position where I'm trying to communicate, contribute to the FGC as much as humanly possible. I mean, that's why I'm here after all.
Right.
And I'm in a weird position where it's a lot hard to do because, like you said, traveling's not that easy, especially how it's kind of pricey in a lot of cases.
Right.
And there's that, and finding online tournaments is also kind of difficult as well. So, any advice for that?
The best advice I could tell you is to, explore. There's still forums. There's still like Sure You Can, or there's still, Twitter. People still post things. Facebook groups. Look for your city. That's kind of like the first thing I did. I moved to Austin just recently, and the first thing I did was enter a fighting game group, and they tell me sometimes where the tournaments are at. For online, our Registry Fighter. They host tournaments every week, every Monday, every Friday. One for the East Coast, one for the West Coast. Beautiful time, and it's free. And good players will get on there. Mike Too Strong. I know Piano Zensu was on there sometimes. I show up sometimes when I can. Online, the way to go. I know the netcode not that great, but I mean, it's something. And so I would use that. Registry Fighter is really good, honestly.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Hello. So there are some games like, say, Celeste that have those accessibility options to like slow down the reaction time or slow down like the animations in the game and such.
Right.
I was just wondering if you had any opinions on options like that in games, and if you think more games should have those or not.
I would say if it was someone that needed it to play the game, then yes, all for it. I would love to have any accessibility options for anybody that needs it. For me personally, I'm a gamer. I'm a fighting game player just like everyone else. I don't want anything extra. The one thing I do appreciate is and I know fighting games it's a staple now for fighting games, is that you can configure any button into anything. That is the most beautiful thing that you could have. I try to tell any game developer to any game to do it. I mean, you guys try to watch me play Red Dead Redemption. It's hard as, So it's hard. Or Spider. I couldn't play Spider-Man, the new game. So it was hard. There are games that I can't play, straight up. Some of them are just basically obviously I can't play those. But there's games that are I just feel like in today's gaming, even if you could just patch it in, some way to just adjust the options, the button configuration, that's all I need. I would be able to play so many games. So those that do it, I big ups to them for sure. And I mean, if people needed the accessibility, go for it. I love it.
And if you wouldn't mind if I had a second question also.
Sure.
Are there any non-fighting games you've been playing lately that you've been really enjoying?
Well, there's a thing called Fire Emblem Three Houses that has kept me up all night. I love that game. It's so addicting. I'm a Fire Emblem fan. Since Sacred Stones, I've been playing. I do love all kinds of platforms. I was playing. I've been meaning to play Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. I mean, I bought a Switch. Like those games I've been playing. Like I said, I was playing Resident Evil 2. The remake was so fun. I love all sorts of games as much as I can play. That's another game too that's so hard for me to play. I mean, I play on the assisted mode, but I hate it because you can't get the rewards. So I'm trying to do it normal. It's working, but we'll see. And then I've been playing Cuphead. I finally was playing Cuphead, and oh man, that game made me want to tear my remote apart. But I got as far as to the dragon. I don't know if people played it, but I got to the dragon, and so now I'm I stopped. It was literally 8 straight hours of playing Cuphead. So I was I need to stop playing this. So yeah, but it was fun.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I definitely agree with you that I think more developers should let you map all controls.
Yes, for sure. Anybody else have questions? Anybody? All right, go for it. Oh, what house I'm a part of? Black Eagles, baby. Black Eagles. Well, give me that. All right, Blue Lions sucks or whatever. All right, go ahead.
How you doing, Broly? My name is Darren. You recently just had a pretty prominent story drop for ESPN and
Yes.
also on E60 for the video format to get your story out there. And I was just wondering your thoughts on that whole process and going through it and what you kind of thought about all that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been. It's been a big day today. A lot of people have been tweeting at me about the E60 and the ESPN article that's featured right now on ESPN.com. Yeah, it was a great thing. One of the things that people don't really get to see a lot. You guys get to see me at this tournament. You guys get to see me at all these majors and stuff, and it's great, right? Like hey, you made it, right? But you don't know the story behind making it, getting there that day, and so that E60 is pretty much about that. It's about me and my brother. It's about the day we go through, trying to get to that place, trying to get to that bus station, to that airport, to that Uber driver or taxi driver that's going to take us, all that stuff. It was a real eye-opening experience. It was a story that I wanted to tell for a while now. It's actually been trying to be told since my first Evo, but we've been going through documentary after documentary and never worked out. And finally, ESPN reached out and they were like, hey, we want to do it. And I was kind of like, wow, that's a big honor for me. I love ESPN, and yeah, it's a huge story, huge thing. I hope everybody will watch it next week. It'll be airing on the 11th of August. I don't know exactly the time, but it will be on ESPN, and yeah, you'll get to really see. You see me shirtless, so damn. But you'll see me. Real up close look at my daily life and how it goes. So I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys will watch it. Any more questions, guys? Anybody? Oh no, not my brother.
Okay, it's not really a question, but I just wanted to highlight the fact. I mean, I'm his brother, but my brother is very, very humble, and he kind of undersells everything. But just if you guys ever have a moment, you're online or something, he does stream on Twitch. He plays a bunch of different games, and he's always willing to help and talk about. Oh, you want to come play a set, blah, blah. Like, he'll hang out and all that good stuff. He's a great guy. Just go up and talk to him whenever. If you see us walking around, want to hang out, have a conversation, go for it.
Yep.
And yeah, just it's a big struggle for us to get here. And something that I like to highlight, and he kind of touched on it, was the fact that you see him here and you're like, oh, BrolyLegs, you made it. But in your mind, you don't really process the fact that, what exactly the steps were taken to get him to this point. And so definitely, if you have time, go watch that ESPN when it airs, because it's from point A, waking up in the morning, to being on the show floor. So and it's really, really eye opening. And I mean, I've been his brother, and to this day, I still don't know how he does it. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. But he's a great guy, and I mean, I think time's running out, but I just want to give a round of applause to my brother.
Yeah,
great guy.
for sure. Yeah, I'm planning on doing this thing as kind of like post Street Fighter, soon, obviously soon. Like, I want to do it as a job, motivational speaking. I've done it. I've gone to Rice University and spoken to them about it, and I kind of used this. When they came up to me, Evo came up to me, asked me if I wanted to do a panel. I was kind of like, wow, what am I going to talk about? And then I didn't even know what to name it, and I was going to make a Twitter post and a poll and say, okay, guys, what should I name my panel? Because I didn't even know what to name it. But yeah, man, it was What's Stopping You was pretty cool, and I plan on trying to do this. I use this as practice to do it as a job, to do it, go around, and so hopefully that goes and takes off and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's something that I plan on doing. Hopefully it works out. Anybody else have any more questions? All right, we got a man coming up. I love your sweater, man.
Thank you. I just got it right now.
Nice.
Mom and Dad just gave it to me, so I'm like, okay. No, but Broly, between you and your brother, I have a girlfriend. You obviously know her, Emily.
Right.
And I do understand your guys' struggle. Like,
right.
From just getting up in the morning, just trying to do this, trying to worry about all this stuff. This, guys, it's what Broly and his brother go through. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like, the mechanics on that chair by itself, it's really scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I mean, it's a big thing, man. It's a like, you see me and you'll meet me, and I'm like as carefree as hell. I'm just like, I never complain about anything. I never say crap about anything. I love everything. I go with the flow as much as possible, because I could be a big complainer and I could just complain about everything and say, you know what, where's no ramp on this stage or whatever. I just made do, right? I was like, yeah, give me a mic, I'll talk, I don't care. That's how I've always been, and that's how I've always taken life. My life could have been so much worse, so much worse, and it hasn't. I'm able to be here, 2019 in Evo Vegas, competing with all of you, and that's all I could ever ask for. So that's why I continue to do it, and Poison, baby, 2019, let's go. That reveal though. No, but it's a pleasure being here, and I've always had fun doing all these things, and it's been great. But yeah, any more questions? Anything? Fighting games? Doesn't have to be fighting games. Anything? Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is Roderick. I'm from Louisiana.
Nice to meet you, man.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because we all start out in fighting games, and you start out with basically 0.
Right.
And so any combo you do, you're like, I did a combo, yay!
Yes.
And then you hit intermediate. And then you go, okay, so I learned some more stuff. And then you start kind of learning the game from that point on.
Yes.
Then there's like a frustration because you intermediate, but you know absolutely nothing about the game.
Right.
When it comes to tournaments. You go to a tournament, you get smashed. You go to the next tournament, you get smashed.
Yes.
Then you show up like lately at my local, I've been getting absolutely smashed. 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. I come here to Evo, I go 2-2. Yay, I almost get out of pools. But how do you not get frustrated between the intermediate to reach the expert level?
That's tough because what you're talking about is a plateau. A lot of people reach that plateau where they get comfortable beating the people they were used to. You get good enough to beat people. Let's just use this as an example: bronze, silver. You get good enough to beat them. Then you reach to gold, and it starts getting harder. And you start seeing things that you're not seeing. People are starting to do tick throws. People are starting to do frame traps. People are starting to do baits. It comes with the learning curve. It comes with the thing that you're doing. It depends, obviously, on the character you play. It depends on the game plan you play. But everyone has their plateaus. And everybody either does the same things and never gets out of it, or tries things that are different and tries to actually understand what's going on.
Or we play Ryu.
Huh?
Or we play Ryu.
Oh, when you play Ryu, hey, you know what? I made it a diamond with Ryu. But Ryu is hard. But I think for what I can tell you is, you have to be on point with your uppercuts. You have to be on point with anti-airs. Like if someone ever jumps on you and you let it happen and you could have DP'd it, you kick yourself in the head and tell yourself, I should have DP'd that. Any chance that you could capitalize on something, you do it. And so if you're not, then you know that you got something to practice. You always look for something to practice, something that you're missing, something that you're not doing well. Maybe you're not dashing well. Maybe you're not canceling your combos well. Maybe you're not doing your V-trainer combos well. Something, right? Any kind of thing, your defense is not on point. Maybe you're pressing buttons too late. Why is that hitting me? Is that plus? Then that's when you ask questions. You tell people, hey, is this move plus? And they'll tell you, yeah, it's plus. It's +2. Don't press jab. Press this or whatever, right? And so you just learn and learn and learn. So how to avoid the frustration, that I can't tell you because everyone's going to get frustrated. I get frustrated. But what I can tell you is it's usually something that you're missing in your game, and you have to just figure it out. And just think about it this way. Outplay your opponent. That's the only way you can do it. Just outplay them.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, anyone else? I got probably 1-2 questions. Oh, Eduardo, what's going on? Eduardo, I see you. My student, my protege.
Of course.
Yes, of course. What's up, man?
And I have the t-shirt.
Yes, you bought my t-shirt. You all ever see that shirt on the link, please buy the shirt. Helps me, get a van and stuff. But all right, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, doing great. So I have a question for you. Like you have been talking about all these moments that you say like you are hard on yourself, that you take the losses to heart, and that you try to keep growing. But I wanted to see if you can share with us a moment where you feel like I really accomplished something, like I really grew today. Like a moment that is like strong in your heart that you feel that I did great.
Right. Yeah. I think one of those moments happened. It was funny enough. It was like about 2 years ago in the Texas Showdown. There was a team tournament, and I always team with my friends. I never team with let's team punk. No, I team with friends, and 2 of my friends, didn't do so well. We had to play against Chris G, Wolf Crone, and Alucard as a team. And it was me against them by myself as Chun-Li in season 2, which sucked. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck. But I just kind of played pretty out of my mind. I kind of thought about all the things that I learned, all the things that I practiced. I told myself, if I could beat Wolf Crone, I could beat everybody else, right? Because I hate Laura, and Laura was so stupid, but whatever. And yeah, it's just about training. It's about what you go through and what you've done in ranked and what you've done in locals and what you've done playing against people and what you've learned. And you know, it doesn't matter the name that you're playing against. It could be Daigo, it could be Punk, it could be Cookie Monster. I lost to a guy named Cookie Monster, yes. I've never gotten out of pools and winners at EVO ever. And I had a finals in I think it was the last Street Fighter 4 tournament, Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournament at EVO. And I was in the finals against a guy named Cookie Monster. And I lost. And he played Ryu. And I'd never hated myself more than that day. So like, you know, so anyways, you know, it doesn't matter about the name. I played my absolute best. I felt so good because I did it for my team. Because we were much, you know, it was me, Casablanca, and a guy named Juices. And, you know, we pulled it out. We pulled out the victory. And then we almost beat Team Wednesday at 5-0. I think it was Valle, Chris T, and Brent, I think. And yeah, Valle washed me pretty hard. So, but, you know, it was just fun. You always live for those moments. Those moments where you really set aside your goals and you really try to overcome something that's really hard at that moment, and then you do it in tournament. That's the greatest feeling in the world, and I hope everybody, you know, whether it's small or big, whether it's just a win, hey, I got my first win, or I won my local or major, I hope everybody gets that feeling. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was good. Anybody else? Last questions? No? All right, well, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. You know, again, like my brother said, you guys can always reach out to me. You know, I'm always friendly. I always talk to people. If you haven't bought my book online, Amazon, you know, My Life Beyond the Floor, basically talks about my life the whole time. And if you want to get better at fighting games, you know, I do Smash. Sometimes I do Dragon Ball, mainly Street Fighter. You can find me at crosscountertraining.com/BrolyLegs. You've been great, and I will see you all sometime today or tomorrow. All right. Later, y'all.